Final segment of A to Z here on Locked On Sports Atlanta, free on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Search Locked On Sports Atlanta. Give us a follow on Twitter at Locked On ATL. Of course, I'm at Mark Zinno, Markzinno. Some more dogs talk coming up here with Kirby Smart. Will he get what he wants now that he's a national champion? We'll get to that coming up in a minute. But first, it's time for a Shuffle of Wisdom.
Brace yourselves, because it's time for the Shovel of Wisdom.
Yeah, you know how we do it every day. We like to set people straight, give them a whack right upside the head with a shovel of wisdom. You can do so as well on my Twitter account at Mark Zinno. Just use the hashtag shovel of wisdom. And today, my shovel goes to the State Department of the United States of America. That was wrong. Why am I giving a shovel to the State Department? Well, folks, uh, in talking about general managers and trades and how they operate like Alex Anthopoulos and the Cloak of Darkness, and the good ones do it that way. The United States chose not to do it. They chose to try to make it a political power play. If you have been under a rock, American basketball player Brittany Griner from the WNBA has been detained in Russia since mid-May because she was found with cannabis oil and arrested at the airport. So she's been there for a while, and she has been pleading for an attempt to get home. And I'm not even going to get into her own political stances and anything. This is merely about the way the United States should have conducted this thing. And of course, instead of doing it under the cloak of darkness, instead of trying to handle this thing without a lot of fanfare and without a lot of recognition and notification, well, the story, of course, gets out that the United States offered a trade for Brittany Griner and one other American, and they were going to send back apparently a Russian arms dealer who's been in prison here, and it was going to be a quote prisoner exchange. And the story got out, and lo and behold, well, what's the word from the Kremlin? Well, we're not going to discuss this publicly. We don't want these negotiations public. Of course they don't, and the United States shouldn't want them public either. It's ridiculous. Why would you want this to be public? This is something you celebrate after it's done. You don't make the trade out loud in front of everybody. Just follow the sports analogy, follow the sports method here, State Department and Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. This is really simple stuff. Keep it all hush hush and celebrate when they're home. And you act like you got the better end of the deal always. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like this is kind of like making us look bad again. Not surprising at this point. Again, not a political statement, but things don't look great right now. So this is just one more ridiculous, foolish way that this was handled. There literally should have never, ever, ever been any sort of public recognition or anything. But of course, you have to score political points in everything you do. Everything has to be made into a political power play because if you don't, well, then you're wasting an opportunity. But here's the funny part about that. You know what you do? You let the media do that for you. You don't have to give them the story. They will tell it whether you want them to or not. So after the fact, you could give them all the juicy details that they need to make this a huge deal and why you did it and everything else. It's just poor form, man. And we look foolish, in my opinion. All right, before we get on to Kirby Smart, a good word from our friends at Coffee AM. Guys, I mean, if you haven't ordered your Coffee AM yet, I don't know what to tell you. Well, I do know what to tell you. You're missing out on some of the best damn coffee you'll ever have. That's simply what I have to tell you. Why? Coffee AM is a small batch roaster based right here in Atlanta, and they ship the best coffee and the freshest coffee. Why? Because their coffees are roasted and shipped on the same day or close to it. And they have coffees from around the world. I'll never forget. I opened up that box when it came to me, and I'm telling you, the smell just hit me in a great way, like a ton of bricks. I was like, whoa, what is this? It's a huge selection of coffees from around the world: organic, fair trade, direct trade, expertly crafted coffees, teas, espressos, and a whole lot more. Guys, you got to get to Coffee AM. Why? Because you're also supporting a local business here that's right here in Atlanta, Georgia. So go to coffeeam.com/locked on today. Take a full look at their menus of coffees, teas, and gift sets. That's coffeeam.com/locked on. And use the coupon code locked on at checkout to get 15% off your first order of coffees, teas, and gift sets. That's coffeeam.com. Coffee AM, the best small small batch coffee roaster in America. Small, small batch roaster. Say that 5 times fast. But say coffee AM 5 times fast, and that's what you need to remember. All right. Kirby. Kirby Smart, national champion. Once again, this debate has come up about the cocktail party in the game against Jacksonville and what it really is, and how much Kirby wants it to be a home and home and no longer played in Jacksonville. I mean, everybody else seems to think this thing is sacred, and Kirby seems to be the only guy out on an island going, "Yeah, we don't need to play it in Jacksonville. I'm good with the home and home." Well, look, Kirby, I don't think there's any sort of a hidden agenda here. I think Kirby just genuinely wants the home and home because he wants to play Florida in Athens and use it as a recruiting tool. That's it. I don't think there's anything else to it. I think it's as simple as that. People have tried to concoct theories and have tried to figure out, why he's pushing so hard for this and what it is and this, that, and the other. I just genuinely think he believes that recruiting is the most important thing, and all of his recruits need to come to the biggest games, and the biggest game would be Georgia, Florida. That's it. I don't think there's anything there. Unfortunately, the math is not in his favor. And I was reading this earlier from the AJC that they get 49 million for the cocktail party in Jacksonville, but they would only get like 15 million if they move it to a home and home. Yeah, 45 million is greater than that's 45 million and 19 million respectively. 45 million to play the game in Jacksonville every year, and 19 million to play it in a home and home. So the math is not in his favor, and he's likely going to lose. Now, the current deal runs through 2023 with an option to extend through 2025. Obviously, Jacksonville wants to keep the game. It's a huge financial windfall for the city, and it's a great event for them, and they love putting it on. But that said, again, guys like Kirby tend to get what they want more often than not. Look, if Kirby wins back to back national titles, then I think he absolutely is going to get what he wants here. I don't have a dog in the fight, pun intended, I guess. I don't care either way. I mean, I, 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 I think Sanford Stadium is an awesome atmosphere to watch a football game. It would be great to have the home and home. I think it's a lot of fun. I don't think Jacksonville gives either team a necessary home field advantage one way or another. And Kirby said so. The better players are going to win the game, and I think he's right for the most part. Georgia's dominated this game in recent years. Why? Because they're a much better team than Jacksonville. That's just what it boils down to. Sorry, better team than Florida, not Jacksonville. The game is in Jacksonville. Anyway, I think he's right about the play on the field dictating everything. So this is something that Kirby truly wants, and if he wins another national title, I think he gets it, and I think they at least try it, maybe for 2 years, and then are willing to go back to Jacksonville. They take a 2 year, but they took a 2 year break in 94, 95. They could take a 2 year break again, do a home and home, and then revisit it and see what it looks like, and see if there's any sort of reason to go back to Jacksonville or to continue it. I don't think Kirby's really worried about the financials. Clearly, he's not, because if he was worried about financials, then he's focused on the wrong thing. His team just won a national title. His school's got plenty of money. I don't think he's really worried about it. Now, again, you talk to an athletic director, that may be a different conversation, right? Talk to Greg Bishop, that's a different conversation for him. He's worried about the money because it's a big deal, and that money matters across the board because an athletic director has to run more than just football. He's got to run every single sport in the school. So we'll see if Kirby gets what he wants. But again, college football right around the corner. I appreciate you guys joining me here on this Thursday. Thanks for making A to Z your first listen. Make sure you make your next listen Hitting Hard with John Chuckery and ATL Day Ones with Jarvis Davis and Tanisha Batiste. Be back tomorrow for a Friday edition to wrap things up for the week. You guys have a great day. Don't take any crap from anybody. See you.